And on social media, things will trend just for the sake of trending. Sometimes you don't even know why it's trending, but it's just there. Which do you think is the most overhyped TV show?
I think for me personally, maybe The Wife, because like the whole world, well,
The
the whole of
Wife?
South Africa is like The Wife, The Wife, The Wife.
Two episodes
Yes.
that book felt like I'd read 3 of these books. You know what I'm saying? I could see just by the pacing that they were trying to like, there was a rushing that was happening that I didn't enjoy. Because I only watched like maybe 6, 7 episodes before I completely lost interest. I'm a big hater of telenovelas. I don't think any of them are really good, to be honest. I don't like anything. The Rivers, the Wives, the Brothers, all of them.
I think you need to make merchandise
The Wives.
to say Muchi the hater, because I feel like that's just
certified hater.
certified hater.
I know.
What up, though? Welcome to another hot episode of the POPcast. My name is Miss Cosmo, as usual. I got my main man with me, wearing... What color is this?
For one baby back in the
Only one.
Only one baby, baba.
Hey.
No, I'm just, I'm a little guy. Plus, I must reiterate that this episode comes out day after Valentine's Day. So yesterday, I was having a good time. If I found some body, grab a body. I mean, come on now. Month of life is here. I know some of you are waiting for the 15th to shout out the girl that you really want. I know how you guys will operate. Somebody put team plan. I mean, look at the coordination today.
I mean, it's all in it's all in the vibes. It's all in the energy. We got our brother Killer Mo with us today. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Hip hop DJ extraordinaire.
I'm finally cool enough to be on the POPcast.
Oh, how long have you been waiting? Tell us.
I think since season 1.
Yes.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely since season
Just
1.
waiting in the sidelines.
Yeah, I'm
okay,
like,
put me on, coach. Put me on, coach. Come on. Yeah, say what can.
Yo.
Which is a situation last year. I was supposed to have Killer Mo last year sometime. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if Dimples had called him or if we had to change a shoot date, then change guest. But we were supposed to have him last year.
Maybe I was in Europe doing bigger things.
You know what I mean? Yes, what happy to have you back here and be able to sit on the panel with us.
Yes. Today we're shooting out at the Food Box in Hyde Park, Johannesburg. It's a very interesting restaurant type of area where basically a bunch of different restaurants are in one space and they,
Absolutely, I love it. They've got one in Durban
saw
as
what
well,
they do.
and I'd heard about that. So when I heard we were shooting here, I thought, are we going to Durban? Are we blowing the budget? What's going on? It's a shui. But yeah, no, it's very dope. And getting here, I don't know if you know where YFM is in Hyde Park, but you have to come up that way because otherwise you'll miss it and you must make a U-turn by Dunkel Corner.
I did that.
And then you get a ticket and then...
I did that. And then the guy who I almost bumped into was just like...
So anyway, very dope out here. A few restaurants, the gourmet ribs and burgers. There's something here for the sushi lovers as well. So pull up at the food.
Yes. All right, so obviously kicking it off with what's happening in the news this week. Of course, we have to send our condolences to Kuli Roberts and family. Kuli Roberts' family, rather, on her passing this past week. I think it was very... sudden. I don't think even the family was expecting it to happen as it has. So yes, I think we just need to send those loves and the condolences as well to her. She was an amazing media mogul. I think everybody kind of grew up having seen her at some point or experienced her at some point in their lives, whether it was on radio, whether it was on TV, whether she was acting, whatever the case may be, you must have at least seen her, experienced her art and her true form. And she was just an amazing person.
Absolutely. She was definitely... a character. She was very colorful. She was loud. She was proud. I had the honor of meeting her a few times and being interviewed by her on her show on that other channel. And definitely her energy and receiving people and just seeing how she worked I'm definitely honored to have met her, and definitely very tragic passing. Of course, we don't have the details of what happened. Whether we will find out or whatnot is besides the point. Just very condolences to her and her family, her colleagues, her friends, and they are very untimely passing.
Definitely. I think our industry is going to miss that character. She was so big. Like, when Kuli was in the room, you're like, oh, okay.
No,
she's
like
there.
you knew.
You're
You
like,
felt
okay,
it.
cool, she's there.
She had that energy, like Brenda Fassie.
Yeah.
Whatever they're doing, they own it. It's like everybody else must just connect to their energy. They're not there to like try and be quiet for anyone or be too anything for anyone. They just row on their own page. And we don't have a lot of those characters in our entertainment industry.
Exactly.
Actually.
And the fact that she was also such a loud, proud activist for different people in South Africa, whether she's fighting for the LGBTQI community or whether she's fighting for people who've got albinism, albinism, however you pronounce it, I apologize. She was definitely trying to make sure that the underdog was always represented. She was always using her voice in that manner. So we'll always cherish her, we'll always remember her, and rest in peace, Cooley. With that, we're moving on to what's happening within the music space. People who are shaking and baking. Reason, I don't know if it's Reason or whether it's Sizwe Alakai who signed to Warner, but one of them.
What do you think, Mo, about Reason's new rebrand?
I think, look, more than anything, he's still utilizing his pen.
Yeah.
Because I believe as consumers of music, and Reason's music specifically, what we always loved about him was the pen. Yeah. And whether he does it in that industry or he does it in hip-hop, it doesn't matter. I just hope that Warner is smart enough to utilize his pen and have him writing for their artists. Yeah. He might actually just make millions for them if they pull this off properly.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And I mean, you guys have heard us maybe every other episode when Reason comes up saying, happy to see that he's trying new things and that it's actually working for him. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing that you're trying something and then it doesn't seem like it's knocking. And you're moving on from what everyone sees as your art. So definitely happy for him. And that's a very good point that you're making, that Reason writes a lot. We know his own pen game, and then we know he lends it every now and then to a few artists. And I hope Warner does that. Because one thing that South African labels don't have a lot, whether they're independent or not, is they don't think a lot about getting a lot of writers on board. Yeah. People are always happy to see the artist and to see the talent, but they don't have the smarts to say, we can spot the talent, but maybe this talent needs help a lot in the pen game. And the teams themselves have to kind of source.
And that's where the A&Ring is supposed to come in. I really feel like A&Ring is one of those skills that's been let down recently within the bigger labels. Because as an A&R, yes, you can spot talent, but you also need to be able to hone it. You need to be able to build it. You need to be able to understand what's missing from a specific artist. So you can say, maybe your melodies are not too clean. Let's get somebody else to come in and help you write that. Or maybe even if it's songwriting, or maybe if they feel like, okay, the song is dope, but it needs a really dope feature. That was, I think, is a very important part about being at a label. And again, if they don't utilize them the way, shame, then they really lose out on the back. Outside of utilizing him as a songwriter, I do think they need to push him really hard, because I think Sizwe Alakai, he's got something working for him there, and he can take it to the next level.
Definitely. I think we've seen it even like when you go out and you see, I mean, I got to see him perform at a gig, and the reaction was like, I didn't expect it personally, because that was my first time witnessing Sizwe Alakai. And I was like, oh, you guys actually like, so yeah, Warner, wake up. Please, eh?
Yes. All right, somebody who is waking up and making sure that she is killing it, somebody we've had on the POPcast before, is COURTNAE Paul. COURTNAE. Hey, I remember she was correcting us that day.
Beyonce.
Yeah, it's a Beyonce. COURTNAE Paul has been nominated for Breaker of the Year. So she is a finalist for the Red Bull Breakdancing Awards, which are going to be happening, I think, later on this year. Global Dance Supreme. So big ups to COURTNAE Paul for that. I know she had been training even for the Olympics. She's just one of those people who's making sure she's taking breakdancing to the next level. And I appreciate the fact that she's still so dedicated to it. Because some people are just like, you're still dancing.
Yeah, in 2022, you're dancing, man. Why are you cramping? Eh?
I mean, Killer Mo was actually laughing because I'd posted an IG story the other day of me. I was at a gig, and some guy literally got on stage and started cramping. I was like, yo, in 2022, this is still your move.
And COURTNAE is really about it, because she takes the compliment, break a leg, a little too literally. Because she's actually broken her leg currently.
Yes, I saw that.
And we do wish her a speedy recovery. I mean, shit. If you've seen the moves that she does, and she's training for the Olympics, so unfortunately she's carrying a little injury. Yeah. But I don't think that'll stop her in her tracks anytime soon.
And I think she deserves the award.
And breaking.
Like, she's been at it so long, like, dude, so many years. Like, I remember COURTNAE in high school, and COURTNAE was like still. I was like, oh, damn, okay. So she definitely, in my opinion, please vote for her, guys.
Yes, and support South Africa, obviously, because she is taking us to the next level. All right, so somebody who is at the next level of his finances, but shouldn't necessarily be there. There's a little tricky gentleman by the name of AKA who's having an issue with his SARS. And you know what? AKA is not the first artist to have a problem with the receiver.
Yeah.
There's been many artists who've been splashed on the headlines. Hey, it's one kolota, kolota, my millions. As now, 1,000. Please, guys, SARS, can you give us a break, bro?
I don't know if any of our top stars have evaded the tax man. We can bring them all up. All the big earners in entertainment at one point or another. Especially if you want to talk about this new age, Borne, where we're playing about from your Bonangs, your AKAs, your Caspers. They've all made one or other headline about some tax situation. And of course, the tax man was one man you can't dodge. She's not forever. Especially the bigger you get.
Yeah,
you know
they'll find you.
Eventually, they'll just know. Everybody just knows you by name at SARS. It's my brother, Kilamo. We heard that you are signing this deal, that deal, that deal. We see you everywhere, my brother. Millions and millions. We saw you buying Bentleys, of course. But when we check you on the system, my brother,
it's not
saying that you're not coming to see me. So paying your taxes is something that once you start working for yourself in a business like this, as you're a content creator and DJ, you know, a manager, musician, whatever it is, and you know they pay you that money is go. And it's hard that you must now do your own finances and have your own accountant who's going to help you pay your taxes. Because you're going to eat that money. It's very easy. It's right in front of you. They pay you 100,000 rand. You think the 100,000 rand is all yours. My brother, it's not. It's not.
Not at all.
You have to do your taxes before you get into that money. First, put your money for your taxes aside. First of all, just get an accountant if you don't know how to do it. You don't have to understand everything, but you have to at least follow the book. And also check with yourself. You must be able, because some people get accountants and managers and they think those people are paying for them, but they never bother checking. And that person takes that money. That's how a lot of American superstars get swindled, because now they're working with way more money than we can imagine this size, in the 10s and 20s and 30s of millions. So people are thinking, my manager's taking care of me. They themselves don't even check. All you have to do is log on to SARS and see what the status is about. And pick them up and be able to communicate that way. Even if somebody does the paperwork for you, you have to make sure that it's actually done as well.
So the tricky part for me, and look, I get it. Yes, SARS, you're supposed to do everything that you said is by the book. It's the better part or the thing that you wish could happen.
Sure. Yeah.
Unfortunately, reality also kind of sinks in. Because you get that 100 Skoto and then you're just like, okay, technically, I'm supposed to put a portion away for the SARS so that I can pay it when it's tax season. But tax season only rolls around once or twice a year. So you're also sitting back thinking, I've still got 6 months before I need to pay this thing. Maybe I can just use this money and then I'll see the SARS man when the six months comes. That's the thinking that a lot of artists have. I'm not saying, everybody thinks like that, but it happens because you get the money, you see it at point value when you have it in your account. And then you're like, I'll deal with SARS at the time I'm supposed to file it. By the time it comes, it's awkward now because you don't have the money anymore, but you need to account for money that you spent 6 or 8 months ago, that you don't even know what you did with it because you probably were popping bottles in the club with that money anyway, you know? So, I don't know. I think it's hard for artists to kind of zero in on that savings habit. Outside of that savings habit, it's also awkward as well when you don't have the right accountant because you think you've got the right guy. Meanwhile, he's swindling you. So it's a catch-22. You want to get the right person to actually manage your stuff, also so that they can get you rebates, they can get you deductions, things like that. Yeah. But not everybody knows how this game works. And that's why people are splashing on newspapers. And it's not a thing that you choose to have. You know, because you'll find a lot of people will tweet and they'll be like, but why is he not managing his things? Hey, it's just what you're the one who's not looking after your things. Sometimes you also don't know until it's on the papers. You're like, how? Is this what's happening in my life?
I think, for me, my thing is like, it's two things, right? It goes back to what Muchi said, teams.
Yeah.
Artists are so used to having people doing stuff for them.
Yeah.
And this is me speaking as a manager. It is absolutely, definitely your responsibility to teach your artists these things.
It's your responsibility as a manager to teach them.
Because think about it. You're collecting a check. Yeah. You're collecting almost 25. Sometimes some exorbitant managers are taking up to 40%, right? You're taking so much money from this person. The least you can do is teach them how to manage this money. Because let's be honest, guys, artists will never, ever in any world learn how to be responsible with their money.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that you see guys splurging, it's never going to be a thing. The second thing is the tax guy, guys. Get the right tax guy. Make sure, and it starts with also your books, because that's the other thing that artists don't have. We don't have bookkeepers. We just have money coming in, flying in. Nothing's being recorded. We don't know how much is going out. We don't know how much is going in. You know, things as small as the toll gates when you're on the road.
Yeah.
Guys don't take account of things like that.
But that's sometimes those things are easily accountable for, because if you just do everything, and I know a lot of people prefer to do cash, because when it's cash, then you don't have to submit for the money.
But now it's fraud.
I know that's the fraudulent way of doing things. I'm not saying that you should, but that's what some people do. No, I'm saying that's what people do. I'm speaking on a fact here, the things that I've seen. You know. However, an easier way for you to at least count for those things. Maybe you don't have a bookkeeper. You do everything through your bank statements.
Yeah.
You literally, if you're swiping for everything, you can go back and literally see where your money was spent, and that's how you get your deductions. Yeah. But because people don't want to do it that way, and they want to go the fraudulent way, that's why they are facing newspapers.
I mean, even in AKA's case, I mean, there's a gentleman who does taxes, and he was like, there's a whole million or that 977,000 rand.
Yeah.
They didn't have to pay.
Exactly.
That's just interest from your shit not being filed at the right time and not being paid, you know?
It's not being filed at the right time, but you can also appeal for these things to be decreased.
But you see, that's why I go back to my point of whose responsibility is it to tell AKA that my brother? Because artists have very big teams. Why is no one saying my brother?
I can save you money. You're right. If you're having the right accountant with you, if you have the right bookkeeper, the right tax man.
Who does your tax?
And I'm saying, like, what's his name?
No.
I got a guy.
We're gonna find him.
I've got a guy.
Do you have someone?
I haven't always been great with my taxes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But because I've only been working for myself now for like 3 years. So getting into it was very hard initially. So I'm speaking from I understand. When you start working, you live at a 9 to 5, before you managers, before everything suddenly money starts coming in, working by yourself, a content creator, you're like, yeah, this money, you know, let me help you, you know, with my baby. But eventually you just start thinking, I mean, just people around me being a little bit more responsible made me feel like immediately after a while that I needed to, okay, let me talk to somebody. And luckily it was another content creator who said to me a couple of years back, look, I've got a guy and he's helped me out with some stuff and I'm just passing around numbers.
Yeah.
And I thought, maybe, do you have your own guy? And I was like, you know, I used to work 9 to 5, so of course HR used to do everything for me.
Yeah.
But now I gotta do it all myself. And I didn't fully understand that entire process. Especially because now I was doing it under a business and I'm thinking, how am I gonna pay myself? Then my business, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of technical aspects and I don't wanna miss a point and then just come back 3-4 years later and the text me like, my man, you owe me $250,000. It's like, yay! You know, so I got a guy, and he's a young dude, he's younger than me. Everyone's younger than me. He's a young dude, but he's been very good in helping me get my book sorted and telling me, oh no, you're gonna get a penalty here because you filed this late. Hey, last year you missed this one. So there's a lot of consolidating that needed to get done, but we got it done. And as long as you come forth, SARS, you know what I'm saying, to say, okay, I may have missed last tax season, I've got my files, I've got my stuff. Yes, you may get a penalty, but in the end of the day, it's way less than what you'll get from completely ignoring SARS over
Don't run away.
X period of time, or you run away and they're trying to get a hold of you.
Don't run away.
You can't run away from these guys. You know
if you speak to them, best believe they'll meet you halfway.
Yeah.
The moment you start running, that's when they say, oh, yes, Joella. They listen.
And you could face jail time. Like it could be really, really petty, depending on how many years you missed and how much cash you missed. Especially if you have your own business and there's big influx of money starting to come in now, way more than you used to earn when you were doing your 9 to 5. Now things start to get tricky for you because they're like, my man, there's a threshold. If you owe X amount of money, you could face up to a year or 2 years in prison. If we want to prosecute you, we can prosecute you. You know what I mean? It's just that they don't bother prosecuting a lot of people if you're willing to come forward and pay. But if they want to be petty, and you never know when it's gonna be your turn. Yeah. They'll be like, actually, this is the one we're going to teach. This is the one we're going to prosecute because you've broken the law. If we want to, we can give you a penalty and let go, or we can say, I mean, but Wesley Snipes spent 2-3 years in prison for tax evasion, but that's 15 years of tax evasion. They said, my brother, come here, my brother, we can talk when you're in jail. So you don't want to get to that point. And you can imagine how many millions in taxes that guy owed. You know what I mean? They're just like, you're joking. You're a full-on criminal now.
So whatever you do, don't run away from the receiver, okay? Otherwise, now you're going to be on the newspapers, and we don't need that. And
to say something positive, actually, to end off this, because we were coming off the back of what AKA posted.
Yeah.
And actually, Supermakers actually being responsible, sharing with the kids that whatever trouble I've been in, what you may have heard,
shout out to him.
Doesn't matter if I could have gotten a discount if I stopped it. I'm paying it, and as much as it's weird for someone to put that the income tax out there, because someone said that I'm a supreme AKA hater. Like, this thing is personal. And it's never personal, but you know, as somebody who talks a lot of shit and somebody himself who talks a lot of shit, you take a lot of shit for the shit that you speak. So I feel like he's got a thick skin and he can take criticism better than a lot of you niggas out there anyway.
Yeah, but big up to him for closing it because woo, Tina's 95 million. Okay.
It's because my colot.
Please.
Yeah. But that's about rule about Kisakwani LVO. Kisakwani these Apple Watch, everything. Next thing I'm sitting here by myself, it's weird.
Yeah, all those years of Miss Cosmo's fun house.
Yeah. Well, no. But anyway. All right, so right now we are going to move on over to our unpopular questions.
Yes, sir.
Our very favorite questions. And today on our unpopular questions, I want to know, I mean, we watch a lot of TV these days. Obviously, there's a lot of options. Now we've got a lot of streaming services that are also coming up. And there's a lot of hype that comes on because of certain shows. And on social media, things will trend just for the sake of trending. Sometimes you don't even know why it's trending, but it's just there. Which do you think is the most overhyped TV show?
I'll let Killer start over here.
This is unfair.
You have to. You're the guest.
I think for me personally, maybe The Wife, because like the whole world, well,
The
whole
Wife?
of South Africa is like The Wife. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad show. I'm just saying that because the question was overhyped.
Yes.
I think we're pushing it a little bit because in my opinion, there are a lot of shows in South Africa that have very, very dope content, very dope actors and actresses, young people who are actually doing dope stuff, and we're overlooking that because of this show has a very good marketing team, and we're overlooking some of the other content that we're being given in South Africa. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. Not saying it's a bad show. Before you guys come and chastise me.
Have you watched it?
And I've seen literally like 10 minutes.
Point and case. There you go. You haven't watched
taking
it.
a safe stance of how good can it be? But I guess
The Wife is actually really good. If you actually sit and you watch through it, I think it's really good.
Now I'm going to do that so that I can have a more informed opinion.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the marketing and every day it's The Wife. Every day.
just a note on The Wife, because it's based on books.
Yeah.
By Shomu.
Yeah, Shomu the Wife.
Shomu's the wife and it's based, she's like the main character.
Yeah.
So it's based on books, and I forgot the writer's name now. I've never read them, but I'm sure we'll put the name down in the description. But most importantly is that when it started off, I didn't know that it was being made into a telenovela.
I don't think anybody did.
And I don't know if that's people. I thought it was a mini-series based on the books. And it was going to be like...
It was going to end at some point. Yeah.
Situation. Or maybe it will have like a few mini-series, maybe three parts, which each was 7-6 episodes, just to wrap up what the books are about. That's what I thought in my head. Sharp. So I go to start watching it, and immediately it's like the pacing of it seemed like they're trying to get to a point very quickly. Two episodes that book felt like I'd read 3 of these books. You know what I'm saying? I could see just by the pacing that they were trying to there was a rushing that was happening that I didn't enjoy. Because I only watched like maybe 6-7 episodes before I completely lost interest. I'm a big hater of telenovelas. I don't think any of them are really good, to be honest. I don't like anything. The Rivers, the wives, the brothers, all of them.
I think you need to make merchandise to say Muchi the hater. Because I feel like that's just
certified hater.
Certified hater.
And I know, and I'll tell you something. A lot of people around me are big telenovela fans, so I'm okay with being the weird one. It's not a problem. My friends, family, of course, when I'm at home and everything, everybody's watching The River. Everybody wants to watch it's all of them. There's something, the seeds, the beds, the bricks.
So you're also saying The Wife
stain at the brick. There's too many of them, but I've never been a fan of soapies and now telenovelas because I feel like in South Africa, those are our biggest actors, our biggest shows. I understand the market, the shows that we like in this country, all kind of go towards that type of theme. And for me, I mean, if I'm talking about anything that's overhyped, I think we just have enough telenovelas. I feel like, and we criticize actors a lot, like we do musicians in this country. It's the same person in 10 different things. My thing about it is not everybody has the range.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not everybody has the range. There's very few actors who have the range to go from doing drama and the greater drama. That same guy is not a comedian. I don't want to see him in a comedy show. You can't be the king in this show and then this day trying to make me laugh. you don't have the range. Most of them who are showing in different things or different genres don't have the range. You can skip around telenovelas and be a dramatic actor, sharp. And people are like collecting the bag, whatnot. Man, when it comes to acting, there's a reason why you normally find comedians writing comedy and comedians featuring in comedy because they have comedic timing.
Yeah.
Especially with comedy. There's other things you can go from being a little bit more serious, action star and acting a drama or whatever. Those things are a little bit more. But comedy, to take guys from telenovelas and just throw them inside of comedy, and now this is a comedy series, sitcom. I don't know, I forgot the name of it, and I'll bring it up because I'll say it live. There's one coming out soon, and I saw it. There's a comedy show coming out soon. Or it's being built as a comedy show.
Yeah.
And I saw just telenovela actors in there. I said, oh, immediately. Immediately I'm like, I'm not watching this telenovela. And we get told as Africans that we criticize too much.
Yes, you guys don't support South Africa. That's the problem. You guys always want to just say...
Apparently, average American shows still get watched, but average South African shows get over-criticized. I guess that's always going to be the maybe it's our Achilles heel. Maybe we need to look more into that and take more little shows. But we need a lot more people who have the talent for certain shows to be more evenly distributed.
Yeah.
Not all of you have the range to act in everything. You know what I'm saying? I personally don't think so. Let me tell you something, a lot of people agree. Everyone's just scared to say it out loud. When we're speaking personally to a lot of actors, directors, everyone's just like, yeah, I know. But I'm like, you never say this. You say, yeah, no to my
when
face.
you're sitting in the casting,
you say, I know when we're having drinks. You say, yeah, no in close friends. You say, yeah, no in DMs. But as soon as it's out in the public, it's, I think these guys are amazing. No, you don't.
Okay, well, I watched The Wife. Sorry, gentlemen. Okay. However, I do agree with you about them kind of speeding it up a little bit. I was also just a bit like, why are they doing it so quickly? Because I want sometimes, you know what? There needs to be a middle ground. Because sometimes, for instance, like The River will drag a storyline. And then The Wife will then do it too quickly. So there needs to be like a middle ground as to how long a certain storyline needs to last so that you can then say, okay, I've got their attention, we've got what we needed, and then we move on. So, but I'm enjoying The Wife. However, what I sometimes kind of get a little bit awkward about, and this is a general thing, I've just never been into reality TV. And I see, obviously, it's a big thing that's kind of coming into South Africa as well, where a lot of artists are also getting into reality TV. It just doesn't excite me. And maybe I'm one person. Obviously, other people will think differently because they want to see into the lives of their superstars. Yeah. So I understand the novelty behind it. For me, it doesn't necessarily make sense. The only one that I won't lie to you, I'm hooked to, is Real Housewives of Devon. Because our baby mommy, those ladies, they know how to bring the drama and it feels so natural. Yeah. It doesn't feel orchestrated. It doesn't feel like, okay, today we're going to cause a fight. Because that's my only issue with reality TV, is that everything is literally like put together. And it's like, why are we here today? Oh no, this person is going to while at a waiter. Glass. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's my only issue with reality TV. However, I really feel like Real Housewives of Durban is completely and 100% natural. Maybe they'll say, okay, come together, let's have a lunch. But the finger pointing and the shouting that happens, 100% real. Keep going, ladies. I'm with you, behind you 100%. All right.
Next week, we will discuss the most overhyped South African actor or actress. Stay tuned.
All right. We also have another unpopular question. Which artist circle has not benefited or grown in the industry?
Oh.
Because sometimes as artists, and this is any genre, it doesn't even have to be one specific genre. We'll move in cliques because it's easier to kind of be around like-minded people. Which circle do you think hasn't necessarily taken their group dynamic to the next level?
Can I plead the fifth on this one?
No.
Look, I don't think or for me personally, I don't want to single out people, but I feel like within the hip-hop fraternity, specifically the hip-hop fraternity, all the cliques, yes, some have grown and some have surpassed others and some, but collectively as cliques, I think we haven't hit that next level. We haven't hit the Rock Nation level. We haven't hit that level where we can actually say we have a lot of boutique labels that service the bigger majors, but we haven't hit the point where a major can call, any clique, it doesn't matter who, and say, yo, listen, we've got 100M for you right now, let's go. Because we, just as a fraternity, are so So that's, for me, I don't have a specific clique. I just feel like, holistically, just within the hip-hop fraternity, we haven't hit that next level.
Muchi?
Currently, these cliques come and go now. You're not seeing anybody staying together, We see people moving on, having individual careers. We see guys from like Lyts gang, for example, come together strong and then break away into their own solo careers, having different successes. We've seen guys like KO's like on his third try. Actually, no, KO had an initial group.
Yes.
It went well, and then he started a clique and a movement, and then that crumbled, and now he's doing it all over again. He himself has sustained, whether this clique will grow into be his actual vision of having like a really strong, stable. Because the thing that people fail to replicate is bring success to people around them. You have the one guy and he must hold everyone together, and eventually it becomes heavy. You know what I'm saying? So you have one guy, you have AKA trying to build this, what do they call that thing of his, the whole clique of theirs? They started going into business, whatever, and they had
the Beam
Group.
Group.
The Beam Group, you know what I'm saying? We see the idea, we love it, there's growth, there's something, and there's an expansion coming in, and then there's the collapse because you are the guy who's bringing all the money in. Everybody else is surviving off off the back of what you're doing. You see, Casper tried to do the family tree, building a stable. Friction starts, people have differences of opinions and creativity, the thing falls down. You can't replicate, because people, as soon as they see that coming, they're like, you must replicate that success for at least one or two other people. But everybody who leaves seems to be doing great after they leave that clique. Just didn't survive there. So maybe they must all go back and say thank you. Not just from family tree,
for getting attention.
Because they got attention and then they utilized whatever momentum they needed there and carried it through by themselves. They just realized, KO is not going to make me KO. I must go be my own guy. Casper is not going to make me Casper. I must just go be my own guy. But the success that they had there can be well documented. We can tell you had your biggest hit when you were still there. You had your biggest moment when you were still there. That's how you're able to sustain that. So individually, that's another conversation. But these tables are failing because guys can't take a step back and grow an entire situation. You have to be able to be, if you have to be a real king to run that, you have to be able to step back a little bit and say, you know what? I'm going to build this empire around my popularity and let everybody get in a position to make money. Or you're going to work with brands in order to support everybody around you. Everybody just seems like after a while, they miss the money. When they do a step back, KO said it live jive. He said, I have to earn a living.
Yes.
You guys asking, when's the Muchi dropping? When's Kid X dropping? Eventually I'm like, I have to take a step back. And when I do that, I start to lose money because I'm also a working artist. And I eventually have to step back. When I step back, you're saying I'm overshining my artist.
So that's the difficulty, you're right. It's a very difficult thing, especially when an artist signs other artists, because people will always be like, and then because it's a public relationship, then people will then come and egg on the person who's at the top. They're like, but when you're not giving a shine to this person, you're supposed to be supporting them, you're supposed to be doing ABCD. And it happens in all spaces. It doesn't necessarily only happen in hip-hop. I mean, it's happened a lot even with, for instance, Jazzy Disciples, where they also had a little bit of a breakout. Solistic, I know, also had a couple of artists signed under them, where a few of them also eventually had to leave. It happens in different spaces because egos get involved. Artists want more. People want to take it to the top. Things that are promised don't necessarily take it to the top. I mean, MT was also signing artists. Eventually, those artists also even left with MT Records. So it's just one of those things where you need to find the right dynamic. But I don't think the person who needs to be making decisions should be the head artist. I think there needs to be somebody who is, I don't know.
You should be like Drake when you have your OVO sound, have your 40 and your Oliver. You know what I mean?
Yeah, have a manager
that are running the business, that understand it, but they can. All of the guys that are under OVO sound, from your Majid, Division,
Party Next Door,
all those guys that can utilize Drake without trying to make it look like they're trying to hey, I've got Drake on the track. I hope this is gonna be, the one track that's gonna make me. All those guys have their own niche following and market and successes, and the label is sustainable in that way, where you support artists that suit you. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to be there and you say you want to be the bigger guy in the room, two are never gonna survive. The Dame Dash and Jay-Z were never gonna survive together because Dame has his own management. Starting off, sure, but I can tell you, from the beginning, Jay-Z knew eventually I'm going to leave this guy. Because I know his plans of being the big dog in the room, and I know my plans of being the big dog. We're never going to survive in the same room. And once the separation happens, then you see who the real superstar is. We don't know what Dame is, but Jay had a vision of where he wanted to take something, right? And you have you've seen it you have guys like, for example, Eminem. How many guys have come and gone? Shady Aftermath. They're trying to manage. Some guys are able to have sustainable careers of their own. More 50 Cent are still there, for example, but 50 has his own trajectory of not just focusing on music.
I mean, those there's a whole D12 when
Dre.
How many people do you still know from
Bro, D12, the guys are, but some of them, they still with Eminem to the
I didn't even know their names at the time they were popular. So that was already a tricky thing, as it was.
And they open for Eminem and they're playing their position. They're not trying to be, sometimes you realize, I could never be like this guy.
Yeah.
But I can still make money with him. I can still make a living off him. And maybe somehow by standing next to him, being opportunities to continue to make money. But as soon as you feel like you're gonna be the bigger than the bigger guy, step away and be the bigger guy so we can see.
Ish. But then it becomes tricky because do you have the backing? Do you have the clout? Do you have the money?
So much.
Do you have all of the support that you were getting from your previous people that you were with to actually make it on your own? And I guess if you have the willpower, you'll take it and run with it. You know what I mean? But amen. All right, so we're going to jump straight into Flaming Hot, Flaming Nuts. And today we've got some really awesome songs that have dropped this past weekend. Two of my favorite artists dropped hot music. And I'm going to be biased, yes, because you guys always complain about me being biased. I'm definitely going to be biased because this is my opinion and this is how I feel about the songs. Nasty C dropped a song called Stalling.
Come on.
I mean...
Definitely hot. I mean, come on, guys.
What's it called? What's it? Explain.
Bias or no bias?
Yes.
It's family business. It's hot.
Oh, whether the Killamo's not allowed to say it sucks, otherwise they're gonna kick him off the team. Next.
I definitely love the song. To know me is no. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Nasty C.
Yeah.
I love to see young niggas winning, like really, really, really winning. Especially when you came in with the buzz and you're able to like completely go out and ride that wave and be your own dude. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we see Oaks come flame, and then maintain some low-level existence, low-level money, low-level deals. And you're like, man, my man, you're supposed to be so much. Nasty C came in, bodied. Now he's like a mainstay.
Yeah.
Every time he drops something, people give it attention.
Yeah.
You know, he one of those, I work when I want to.
Yeah.
I move when I want to.
Yeah.
I'm not out here trying to eat everything because I'm hungry.
And it's got the right timing, you're right. It's got the right timing as to when to release songs. Because it's not like things are coming out every weekend or every month. He just knows, okay, I've dropped the song now. Let's let it, do what it needs to do. And then at the point when the next one is ready, then he drops. And the one thing about Nasty is that he's got like plenty tunes.
Sure.
That
he records literally every day. So he's not starving himself of having songs to kind of release. He just does it in the right timing. And I think the strategy and the team is what's important with that, to know when to get them out.
With that said, Killamo, what can we expect? It's a teaser song coming out right now. Are you guys busy with some sort of rollout?
Yes.
What plans can you bring us into your confidence?
Yes.
I mean, when I say confidence,
what I can share is that there is a lot of music coming this year.
Okay.
There are a lot of albums coming out of the camp this year.
Nice.
I think between all the artists, there's probably like 6 albums. Two.
6?
So that's if plans obviously go according to plan.
Nice.
A lot of Iverson Toast should be back this year. I know a lot of people have been crying about that. We should be good and well. Thank you, Cyril.
Before we move on from this, just for everyone watching, can you explain what you do on the team?
So I am part of Teleman Nasty's management team. I DJ for Teleman as well. I do everything and anything that is required to make
the pots, make the money.
Cash Doila.
Yes.
All right, so now you're getting us a little inside information here, and I'm hoping I'll be holding you to that. I want every 2 weeks or every after. Every month or every after 2 weeks.
My brother.
I'm going to be expecting you.
My brother.
You said something about something dropping. I just checked my DSPs, my brother.
There's nothing.
There's nothing.
No, but that song, Stalling, Nasty C, he knows exactly how to execute, especially from an R&B front. Shout outs to Nasty. Somebody else who also knows how to execute his R&B side, Blackie.
The black man.
Yeah.
Somnyam.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He's got the world in his palms now. I can just see in his face that he's having fun.
And what I enjoy, he's having fun, but he's also saying, let the music out. So yes, he dropped the single this past weekend, but also an EP is on the way. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not starving us of his content, and that's what we need in hip-hop. We need to make sure we're constantly giving people the music. So Nasty C dropped a hot song called Cold just in time for Valentine's. For those who didn't have a Valentine.
For the babies.
Because the boyfriend wasn't there. okay? Saying, oh, don't worry, if your heart is cold, I got you. Here's a song that can kind of, explain your feelings for you. So Blackie knows exactly how to tap into different genres. He knows how to tap into hip hop. He knows how to tap into R&B. He knows how to tap into amapiano. I'm hoping to maybe even hear him on a Gqom song at some point, just to see how he flexes.
I think he can pull it off.
You know what I mean?
He can definitely pull it off.
How are you feeling about the tune?
I mess with the tune. I think for me, it feels like a hold that went to private school.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's just the next level.
Like the next level of hold. And hold is like my shit. Like I fuck with hold. So definitely.
How you feeling? Did you hear the song?
You haven't heard the song?
Did you listen to it?
I was trying to say I'm listening to you guys and I'm going to be like, yeah. No, I couldn't care. But no, this is the only track that I didn't bump where I will.
You have to.
That's what I'm
Please
saying.
do.
I'm definitely going to bump it.
It's an amazing song. So shout outs to Blackie and the team. Limbs of the Villain dropped a song called Sosha. It's featuring Sinom Solo and T on it. How are you feeling about the tune? Did you listen to it?
I haven't listened to it, but I can speak on
guys.
Sino. I'm sorry, guys. I don't listen to a lot of house. Not anymore. But I can speak on Sino. Sino's doing very well in the amapiano space. And I think it's just a matter of time until he becomes a Daliwonga or a Youngstana or, you know.
Yeah.
I love that jam. See, I'm skipping hip hop now and I'm listening to my piano tracks. I'm giving you guys the reverse of who I truly am. But I love that jam. And shout out to Lebza as well. He's putting in a lot of work. He's been very, very busy. And I've been expecting a lot of productions from him. Yes. I know he used to do something weekly, release mixes on the other podcast. I don't know if he still does that, but I know he's definitely been building his profile a lot off the back of YFM days. And I'm looking forward to see what the rest of his sound is going to take molding. Because he was doing another kind of more deeper house.
Yeah.
And then to see him play around with the piano is also very dope. So I'm looking forward to see what else Lebza has got going on.
Shout outs, man. The song was dope. I listened to it. Sinom Solo obviously coming through with the vocals and giving us the melodies. Really awesome. I think it's T, the guy who's also featured on the song. He's got like a Amaroto thing kind of going on with the way that he raps. And I was like, okay, I can see where the influences are coming in because they're seeing what works. They're seeing which formula works with piano and trying to get that into their music. But I want people to also kind of own their own identity within the music. But I really enjoyed the song and I think it's going to do really well. So big ups to Lives as the Villain for this one as well.
And lastly, I mean, it only dropped this morning as we're shooting, but Younger put out a freestyle.
Yeah.
2022 freestyle where he's just taken a whole lot of trending news and then turned it into trending videos and it's kind of rapping towards them scenario, kind of matching what he's talking about. I thought that was very cool and very creative that he put it out there. Of course, it's just a freestyle. Maybe he'll put it out as a digital, I don't know. But it's good to see, again, somebody who's been in the game, who's established, who's comfortable, still being able to come around and have fun with the visuals and play around in those markets. Because, trending topic news, trending videos, he's putting all those together, he's using a video of Umlando Challenge and just being creative, rapping to that. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to see him kind of just boxing with himself a little bit, trying to stay into shape. And it's good to have fun like that, man. I guess that's another thing that hip-hop artists need to overthink again sometimes. Everything must be polished and they think it must compete with something. Just to put out some music out there, let your fans know that, we still are here. We still got, we still got it. And here's a throwaway and it's entertaining because the videos and when you're watching it, you're like, oh, you remember that moment as well.
Yeah.
It's very smart of him just to put something out there just to revive.
Shout outs. And with that, we are wrapping it up here on the POPcast. We do want to give some love and thanks to Kilamo for joining us today on the POPcast. Where can people catch you on the social media and what can we look forward to for 2022?
Social media, Kilamo Official, everywhere. Recently got new accounts thanks to getting hacked.
2-step verification.
No, it's there, my brother. Sometimes it's just bigger.
Sometimes it's bigger than you.
It's just bigger than you. It was just like... as for what I'm working on, I'm actually dropping a single with the Les and Talaman 80 Soul on my birthday. So hopefully the mix and master is in when I leave here so that I can drop it on the 16th of Feb. Hopefully my EP's mix and master should be ready soon.
Nice.
Because this year, a little birdie told me that hip-hop DJs are not dropping.
Hey! So we need to put in a little bit more work, huh?
Yeah.
Let's get to it. So, of course, shout outs to Kilamo. Please do support and listen out for the music.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man. And, of course, Muchi.
For one, baby.
For one baby.
Muchi for one baby.
What are you doing for Valentine's?
Not for all the babies.
What am I doing for Valentine? As they're watching this, I'm away somewhere. All I'm hearing is beds. I can't hear the noise when you guys are swearing at me. I'm swearing at me in the comment section. All I'm hearing is waterfalls and beds.
Oh.
But brother, I'm at peace, and I wish you all the same peace.
Oh my gosh. All right, but with that, we are going to jump straight into what matters to Muchi as well as the real views right here on the POPcast. Catch you again next week, Tuesday. Please remember to subscribe, like, and turn on those notifications. You heard?
Yes, sir. What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy Muchi, and this week, what matters to me is we speak about crews all the time. We speak about having the wrong people around you. We speak about having those people that are just dead weights, that carry you, that waste all your money. But we don't speak about people who, even if they're very small crews and they just work with professionals, leave your cousin at home. Now, very recently, I remember I was rewatching Big Sean's interview when he went to when he was on Drink Champs. And he was mentioning a time when he had to fire a very, very close friend of his. And this friend got fired because he got excited when he took him around celebrities. Now, you have to know your friends very well. I'm talking to all of you up-and-coming superstars. You have to know your friends and family very well, because some you take around and they can embarrass you. And because they're friends and family, it's very hard for you to control them in public. Maybe they drink too much and they want to hug Miss Cosmo. Miss Cosmo doesn't like that. When you leave him alone, you see him smacking girls on the bums. That guy is not there to serve any purpose at all. He's not even working. You're trying to take your cousin who's problematic around different places and is ruining your own image. This guy that Big Sean took, while they were in studio, now he's in studio with Jay-Z and Beyonce and Kanye West. He brings his fucking cousin there. That guy takes a picture, posts it on the internet. This is when they're still working on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Of course, you know, they were in Hawaii. It was all very secretive. It became a big media thing. And Jay-Z called him and said, fire that guy. Fire him. I don't care if he's a photographer. You can't bring a guy like that around us. He's going to ruin everything. Now, you see, that ruins your relationship between you and your own cousin, because it must come from higher up. The bigger guys, they're in a room full of people. It must come from the police. It must come from bouncers, because it makes you look bad. You can be as professional as you want. But if you have somebody in your team who you know should just stay at home, leave your cousin at home. You'll see him at Christmas. You'll see him at New Year. You'll see him at the next birthday, at the next graduation. Miss Cosmo doesn't want to hug your cousin. That's what matters to Muchi this week. I'll see you next week. I'm out.
Hey now, this is the real views right here on the POPcast. So this week, I'm actually doing a review of the Genius documentary. Everybody knows, we've all been waiting, Kanye West's story, the trilogy, 3 full movies. Okay, so Scoop and I actually got the privilege of being able to watch the first and the second episode of the trilogy, and we got an opportunity to also interview the directors of the trilogy as well. So we're going to be actually showing that interview right after this episode. So please stay tuned. Don't go anywhere if you want to catch that interview that Scoop and I did for the Kanye West trilogy. I really enjoyed the first part because I think it also kind of gives us a little bit of insight as to who Kanye was before the fame. It gives you an insight as to how he was pushing, how he was trying to get himself on. He's always been the arrogant Kanye that we know. I think that's the one thing that I took away from it. But I really love the fact that you get to just see a little bit of a sensitive side to him. You also get to fall in love with the old Kanye again. And as you see the story kind of unfolding, it gets into the second part, which also kind of shows where the growth is, where the music starts popping off, where he starts becoming the artist that we know today. I haven't seen the third part as yet. They didn't give us preview to that, so I'm going to watch it at the same time as you guys. But I do think it's worth our time. I do think it's worth the energy. However, if you are going to watch it all in one day, you need to give yourself literally the entire day, because each movie is an hour and a half, and that's why they call them a movie and not necessarily an episode. Production, obviously, put together really well, narrated really well, and it's good to see parts of how he engages with his mom in some of the episodes as well. So please do enjoy. This is the Genius Trilogy, Kanye West.